If you're getting into running, or if you've been running for a bit, maybe you get discouraged. Don't compare yourself to the elites. Don't even compare yourself to me. Today's training is an endurance run, and it's the last endurance run of my endurance training block. Can't believe it has been 6 weeks. I started on February 22nd, and I've been doing endurance training for 6 weeks now. Has it flown by? Not really, but we're here. So today, getting a 1 hour endurance run in. I'm warming up right now just by walking, and then we'll run at a perceived effort of a 5 to 6, which is your forever pace. So in the last 6 weeks, I have dropped 9 pounds. Haven't really talked about my weight. Well, maybe I brought it up in some of my videos, but that's not a focus of mine. I'm 51 years old. I try to eat healthy. Sometimes it's a challenge, but I weighed like 214 back in February when I started this training block. And today I weighed 205. So I'm not going to complain. Would I love to be lighter weight? Sure. Am I going to beat myself up over it? No. Let's recap what runs I've done this training block and what does it all mean? Because you always hear me talking about perceived effort and steady state and endurance and recovery. And there's two that we haven't even got to yet, which are tempo and intervals, but we'll work backwards. When you do a steady state run, you're running at a perceived effort of a 7. So you're below your lactate threshold. It's a pace that you can hold for a good bit. For me, it's usually like 15 minutes, and then I have a little break, and then another 15 minutes. So I'd end up getting like 30 minutes at a steady state. And that pace just varies depending where I'm training at. If it's flat, it's up, it's down. But it's, like I said, it's a perceived effort. You have to practice at it to try to figure out what pace can you hold without hitting your lactate threshold for that interval time. So that's a steady state. Then you have your endurance runs. So that's a perceived effort of a 5 to 6. And this is the pace that you can hold forever. Call it your forever pace. So whether you're running up and down and wherever, just like a steady state, you'll be able to hold that pace for hours. And again, you got to practice, figure out what that is. And then right below that is your recovery run. So that's like at a 3 to 4. So that's just nice and easy. And usually you're gonna do that after a hard workout the previous day, because you just want to get out and move, get your muscles moving again, get some recovery going on. So 3 to 4. And then anything below that, like right now I'm walking, talking to you, that's like a 1 to 2. No logo for that, but just a perceived effort of walking. halfway done with my run. Gotta show you Pikes Peak. That's the one thing about Colorado Springs. You definitely know your directions because Pikes Peak is to the west. And you can see it from everywhere. But I also wanted to go over some of my numbers. Something I have not talked about yet is VO2 max, because I'm not worried about it, but I need it for reference in the future. So my VO2 max when I started was a 36, and today it says I'm at a 38. So it's barely changed, but we haven't been doing any workouts to really affect my VO2 max. Next is my base fitness. So 6 weeks ago I was at a 41. I checked this morning before this run and I was at an 81. So I increased that by 40 points, and I can feel that. I compare it back to my couple of my first runs I started doing during this training block compared to today, and yeah, I feel great compared to then. And this the other day I noticed on my run that, you know, I almost made it about 3/10, just over 2/10 further than I normally do. So my speed is definitely picking up, my endurance is coming in, and this training block has worked. Then I added up all the mileage over the last 6 weeks, and I had 115 before starting today. Today I'll get about 5 in, so right around 120 miles. Well, I'm wrapping up my run. I'm in the last 5 minutes, so I'm just walking back to cool down a little bit. So we're gonna wrap up this video. Next up is a tempo phase. So endurance runs will not go away, but the intensity when I do workouts will be higher. We'll be at an 8 to 9 perceived effort. So this is not all out like an interval, but it's a pace where you hit your lactate threshold and can't continue. So you do a run, and then you do a rest, then you do a run and a rest, and I'll share that with you when I do that first tempo run. Other than that, I just want to leave you with, if you're getting into running, or if you've been running for a bit and maybe you get discouraged, don't compare yourself to the elites. Don't even compare yourself to me. Compare yourself to yourself and do what you're capable of. You'll have good days, you'll have bad days. And when you have a bad day and you say you don't go on your run, don't let that derail your training. Take the day off, take 2 days off, whatever you need, but get back out there, build a training plan, and do your best to stick to that training plan, because if you do, you will see that that training pays off. You'll be able to run longer distances, faster paces, if that's your goal. Meet new friends, go on wild, crazy adventures, and just have some fun. We'll see you tomorrow.